Which came first, the monster or the egg? An egg hunt. That's what Dana Johnson's bratty little sister Brandy wants to have at her birthday party. And whatever Brandy wants, Brandy gets. Dana's not big on egg hunts, but that was before he found the egg. It's not like a normal egg. It's about the size of a softball. It's covered with ugly blue purple veins. And it's starting to hatch.
Welcome to Goosebumps Overviews, the show where we talk about Goosebump books and judge them on their merit. Tonight's episode is book number 42, Egg Monsters from Mars. One of the more forgotten books of the Goosebumps original catalog. So this one should be pretty exciting, right? So starting with the cover... Oh god. Okay, I really hate eggs, so seeing this does kind of build up that gag reflex a little bit in the back of my throat. It looks like yolk mixed with the blob from the movie The Blob. Why does R.L. Stine have this fascination with blob-like creatures? I'm seeing this a lot all of a sudden. Anyway, that is a pretty good creature design, though. I'm surprised it's not more recognized, honestly, because it only appears in this one book out of all the Goosebump books that I'm aware of. That egg. Look at that egg, man. That is an interesting design. I am, however, questioning why it's in a carton full of eggs. First of all, how is that fitting in there? Second of all, who put that in there? Third of all, this doesn't happen within this contents of this story. So, yeah, that's a little weird. But other than that, it's a great cover, really gross, and makes me want to find out what the hell is happening in this book. Dana Carvey wants to be a scientist. Did I just... Dana Johnson wants to be a scientist. Yeah, his parents are scientists, so he wants to be a scientist. He's a very serious kid. There's a bunch of scenes where they're like, Dana,
why so serious?
So Dana has a bratty sister. Wow, where have we seen this before? And Dana's bratty sister, Brandy,
Say Brandy, you're a fine girl. What a good wife you would be.
wants to have an egg hunt. Okay, how old is this kid again? Who has an egg hunt? Seriously. Dana, of course, is forced to join this egg hunt, and the egg hunt goes horribly, horribly wrong. As when they do the egg hunt, a bunch of kids think it's way more fun to just throw the eggs at people, which, honestly, that seems like a thing kids would do. So they start a huge egg fight. There's egg everywhere, but then Dana finds an egg. It's a bit abnormal. So I guess he picks up this egg, and as he's about to toss it, he realizes that it's a very strange looking egg. It's green and covered in veins. And when he trips and falls on it, thanks to a stupid dog, it doesn't break. Apparently this egg is just like completely invincible when it brings out this it brings out Dana's scientific mind. He really wants to study it. At first he thinks it's like a turtle or something, but he finds it really strange. Then later that night he tries to show his parents the egg, but they just don't want to deal with Dana at all. They make fun of him and basically, cause him to leave the room. His sister doesn't care, so he doesn't show it to his family or his sister. They don't give a shit about him. They're just too tired from the egg fight earlier on. So once they hear the word egg, they're like, screw off, kid. So yeah, then the egg hatches. And that's when we get introduced to the egg monster from Mars. So yeah, it's basically the monster is a giant puddle of yolk Warm yolk, mind you, with dark black eyes. So what does Dana do? Tries to take it to his parents. Parents aren't there. Shows it to his friend. Friend's like, oh, cool. Take it to the science lab. I don't care. And then Dana takes it to the science lab where the real horrors of this story begin. Dana meets a scientist named Dr. Gray. And Dr. Gray actually believes in Dana and is remarkably interested when he sees this creature. Apparently Dr. Gray has been collecting these creatures and studying them for some sort of prize. He's become obsessed with these creatures. And with Dana knowing about it, well, that's a bit of a conflict of interest. Dr. Gray captures Dana in this freezer room full of egg monsters. I have to study you, Dana, he said. I have to study you to make sure you're not contaminated by the creatures. So yeah, basically the entire story is Dana trapped in this science lab, and he has to find a way to get out. And mind you, he's trapped in a science lab full of these creatures that he doesn't really understand. So I think the reason why the egg monster hasn't really caught on in the Goosebumps popular media is because the egg monsters aren't really built upon. We don't know why they're here. We don't know their motive, their goal, or anything about them really, besides the fact that they're warm, and I think at one point they merge, but that's about it. They really play a very little part in this story. They're basically the MacGuffin to get the plot started, and really that's about it. Kind of disappointing, really. And honestly, the Mars part is kind of deceptive. I guess that Dr. Gray informs Dana that they're from Mars, but that's mainly just a huge assumption. Like, I guess there was a storm on Mars, and that knocked these eggs onto Earth, and they didn't burn up in the atmosphere somehow. And it took 2 years, I guess. I don't know. Just kind of a thrown in there excuse. But there's not really much to do with these creatures at all. The story just kind of abandons the creatures later on, where Dana forgets they even exist. Wow, that's kind of bad. And then the ending happens, which is a typical Goosebump rushed ending. And the twist at the end is fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. It's not bad. It's just stupid. I read it and I had to reread it several times because I'm like, what the fuck? What were you thinking, Stein? What is this shit? I kind of laughed at it because of how stupid it was. But at least I wasn't angry. Like Bad Hair Day or The Barking Ghost. Or even Camp Nowhere. Camp Nightmare. So yeah, but even though the egg monsters don't play a huge part in this story, the parts that involve Dana being trapped in this room actually do have significant fears, and it is actually an interesting story to some point. There's a lot of tense moments where people are coming into the lab and he's trying to let them know that he's trapped in there, but nobody ever finds out. So there are good parts to this story. However, it just kind of feels like a little bit of a lie with the egg monsters part being, you know, the main title. And the fact that the ending kind of rushes it so fast that I'm just like, what? And then just laugh to myself. So yeah, kind of a disappointment, but overall it's just kind of a meh book if you put all these expectations aside. Alright, time for the spoiler section. I bet you guys are excited. So, Dana escapes the lab. The egg monsters tackle Dr. Gray in this huge blob form. I guess they all merge together and they envelop Dr. Gray. Dana runs home, tells his parents about this, and he takes his parents back to the lab. And by the time they get there, the egg monsters and Dr. Gray are gone. So that raises a lot of questions. What the hell happened? Did they fly back to Mars? Did they eat him? Did they spontaneously combust along with Dr. Gray? What happened? Well, I want to know what happened. What happened? And yeah, basically that happens, and they're like, oh, let's take our son to a doctor. He's insane. And by the end of the book, Dana's walking to his friend's house, and he lays an egg on the lawn. The end. So I guess this happens because of the prolonged exposure to the egg monsters. That's my assumption. But if you weren't led to make that assumption, this is just the most random shit ever. It's like a 2-year-old came in and wrote the ending like, oh, he laid an egg. He's a chicken now. Which, by the way, is reminding me of another book that I am dreading to get to. Take a guess at which book that is. Because it's coming in about a week. So, reading this book, it wasn't a huge disappointment, but I was slightly disappointed. And it has some good scares in there, but the ending really kind of takes it down because it's so fucking stupid. But at least it wasn't painfully stupid. So with that, I'm gonna give Egg Monsters from Mars a 4 out of 10. It's a below average read with some good parts to it. So if you're looking for a sci-fi thing, you're not gonna find that. You're just gonna be really disappointed, guys. Sorry, guys. Anyway, that has been my review of Egg Monsters from Mars. I hope you've been egg-static about this. And I hope to see you next time for book number 43, The Beast from the East. Have a scary day.